Okay, so we're here in Studio One in Good Vibes Music Academy. I'm talking with Steve, who is the CEO and founder of Good Vibes, and we're talking about everything Good Vibes. So, to start off with, Steve, could you give us a kind of bit of background, an idea about what is Good Vibes Music Academy?
Absolutely. So, Good Vibes is a music school based in Newbury Town Centre on the corner of the Kennett Centre. And we focus on teaching modern music, contemporary instruments, so things like electric guitar, bass guitar, drums, vocals, that kind of thing. But also some more of those really kind of up-to-date things like DJing, music production. And our whole kind of ethos is about looking ahead to the future and looking at what students need to be future musicians. So including things around like electronic music, digital audio workstations, and all those kinds of things in there as well.
Cool. And I've seen, obviously, we talk about it quite a lot here at the academy, but we talk a lot about real teaching. And for people that may not know, people watching this, could you give an overview of what is the real teaching?
Absolutely. So we have this lens that we look at our lessons through called Real Teaching. And REAL is an acronym for relevance, engagement, assessment, and language. And that's the four kind of core areas, if you like, that all of our teachers use as part of their lessons to really drive the fun and progress that happens within them. So under relevance, we're looking there about how our relationships are with our students, how we can make the repertoire and the music really kind of current to the life of the students, what the resources are that we use to make it really relevant, and so on. Within engagement, that's about really driving the progress. How do we maximize that progress? And we use an approach called skill set teaching or bite-sized teaching, which is where we break a kind of skill down into really small steps so you can make lots of progress very quickly. And then assessment is all about, do we really understand what the if the student understands it? So a really key kind of concept, because it's very easy to do something and copy and replicate. But actually, if we're teaching a skill, how do we know if a student really understands that skill? And so we use different kind of approaches and techniques and strategies, if you like, to gain that understanding, to assess whether people have got that understanding. And then the final part is language. And as we know, like, your words are so important. They can make or break. And in fact, one phrase can like absolutely kill a student's enthusiasm, plain dead, and stop lessons. So how we go about talking in our lesson, how we communicate with our students, with parents, with schools and so on is really important for us. And so that L for language is a really key aspect in there as well.
Absolutely. And you and I obviously have both worked in the industry for quite a long time now. Not calling us old, but but we've worked in different music academies, different music schools, and other places. And this is quite a different approach, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, quite often teachers are kind of allowed to use their own personality, and we absolutely want that here as well, because that's such an important part. That pupil-teacher relationship is absolutely critical. But what we want to do as well is to kind of have a unifying approach, if you like, so that when people come to have lessons with us at Good Vibes, they know what they're going to be kind of getting and receiving, and the kind of level of expectations that you can have our teachers and the staff around. So yeah, it is quite a different approach to it, but it's all grounded in years actually of development, of research, of talking to people, picking up bits and pieces here and there. And all we've done is to put it together into a really easy to understand concept that's really easy to apply and can have some big impact.
Absolutely. So the real teaching lens is how we do the teaching. It's how all of the teachers view their lessons. But the answer to what we kind of do, we have our kind of 5 pillars. So could you talk through a little bit about our 5 pillars and what each of those are?
Exactly. So the real teaching is how we go about doing it, and the what, if you like, is these 5 pillars. And so they are the 5 pillars are ability, creativity, musicality, collaboration, and performance. And it's those 5 areas that we've identified as being really key to be a musician of the future, and potentially of the past. But within those things are areas that we have to develop to be a musician. And so the ability area is really talking about how you make sounds on your instrument. And it doesn't matter what the instrument is. It could be the voice, it could be a guitar, it could be a music production, but really developing the skill to be able to make music. then the creativity is, and this is absolutely crucial in modern music, is musicians are expected to be creative, whether it's improvising a drum solo or a screaming guitar solo, or being a songwriter. Then, and even actually turning up to do a session in a recording studio, you're given a chord chart and you say, like, okay, oh, can you come up with a style of playing that? Like, even a strumming pattern can be creative. So that's a really important area for us, developing that creativity right from the very beginning, so it becomes a kind of normal aspect of making music. And then musicality is all about exactly that, developing musicianship, broadening our experiences and our horizons, so that we're not just, focusing just right now just on one very minute area of music. Yeah, you might love rock music. Oh, but what about how that links to punk and pop and grunge and all these other kind of genres around there? And then the other two kind of areas are more kind of experiential based, if you like. And so this one is about how you apply those first three strands, the ability, creativity, and musicality, to collaboration. So how do you work with others? How are you going to bring your skill and your creativity and your musicianship when you're working with others? And the same for performance as well. So how are you going to bring those elements into your performance opportunities? And those, again, are key areas of being a musician. Like, if you're playing in a band, you're working with other people. You could be songwriting, probably with other people. You could be recording, you're working with engineers, and so on. And actually, in performance, is a really interesting one, because it doesn't necessarily just need to be about performing on a stage, either as solo or in a band. It could be around YouTubing, it could be around recording. It's more about sharing your music than just strictly performing.
Absolutely. And the collaboration and performance are interesting because they're areas that we're really looking to develop further, but we already have some really good opportunities in place for our students to collaborate with other players and to put on performances. So talk a little bit about the opportunities students get at Good Vibes.
Yeah, so obviously we have our lessons anyway. We have our memberships, which is a really great basis for it. But we do see that as being the starting point. So that's where you're going to gain, in particular, the first three pillars, the ability, creativity, and musicality. But then outside of that, we need to develop the other areas. So opportunities we do regular performances. We've done some really high profile things. We performed at the Corn Exchange, organised opportunities at the Corn Exchange in Newbury. We've got a festival going on in Victoria Park over the summer. We're involved with the Christmas light switch on. So there's lots and lots of really kind of high profile opportunities, as well as just opportunities just to get your feet under the table with it and experience it, because again, that's got to be a scalable kind of thing. And then with the collaboration, again, all kinds of other opportunities in there. We run holiday workshops and courses. We run regular band sessions. We offer music production sessions in there as well, so people can learn about how to record. So all kinds of other areas in there for people to explore, and lots of information about that on the website.